welcome back to the Stoners Roundtable Podcast, Take 2. So, I just recorded a video to help Echo One do a PS5 version of a restore load order. And I did that video, and before I could get it fully uploaded and posted, Echo just happened to make a comment on his channel, everything I mentioned. And I was like, well, crap. So I'm gonna have to redo this. He's already mentioned it, a comment on his video. So it's already there. I know he's gonna say, you could have still done a video. Yeah, I know, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what happens on the PS5 version when I do this. I've already tried it once, and what it did was, it did not, since I'm on one account, as Echo One mentioned, what it did was it reloaded my PS5 load order onto my PS4 version. But what it's also done is it's added a few things that I have not saved to Bethesda.net, like Hedrahim Crystal Tower. I have not saved that one to Bethesda.net. Could be because it's in my library, but I don't know. I know from saving it to Bethesda.net, if it's on the same account, you should be able to load it no matter what version. But not, it had to be saved in order for it to load, but it's still loaded. Vampire Lydia and that one, these are saved. That's saved. Of course, that's saved. All of these are saved. All the ones I'm going through at the moment is saved, except for that one. This one also. The tracking and summoning has not been saved to Bethesda.net. That one has. Interface overhaul has not. I know that for a fact, and yet it still loaded it. I have not saved it to Bethesda.net. Nor the Jewel Weapon Pack. The reason why I haven't saved these, because I wasn't for sure. These 4 I haven't saved because I wasn't for sure how they were going to cause my game to react, if they were going to crash my game, this, that, or the other. So I never saved them. That one I did save. But this one, the Tundra Homestead, tracking and summoning, T-Gate interface overhaul, the Jewel Weapons Pack, the Hedrahim, you're supposed to be added, and yes, it's still disabling mods that should be enabled. There's still more. And the disabling of the mods, it's getting to be for the birds. And most of the time it happens to be the new verified mods that disable. And of course, the reloading or the reordering I go out of there and I go back in. See, that should not be first. It should actually be right there. But it's not. It's going to keep reordering it until I save it, and I'm not going to do that because, like I said, this is actually working off my PS5 version load order. And no, it did not download or reinstall all 172 mods that I have installed. It's only installed 115 with the addition of some mods I do not have saved to my load order. Also some things that should not be on here. This one shouldn't be on here. That one should not be on here. I've uninstalled that one a long time ago and I've never saved it to Bethesda.net. That's another issue. That one should have been uninstalled too. It shouldn't have been. Maybe that one should have been uninstalled as well. I know Vampire Lydia is saved to my load order, so that one I can see loading up. But the ones I don't have saved to my load order, or saved to Bethesda.net, I don't think they should be loading up, even though they're in my library, but that should have nothing to do with my PS4 version. The only way they'd be connected is through the saving of the load order. Of course, it could. I know when they download it would add it to. That's not all of them. So, clearly some issues. It's not loading all the mods, because I know there's a few mods on that have not shown up. The Blink mod is not on here, I don't believe. I know I've saved that one to Bethesda.net and it should be on here. That one should be in my load order. As I go through this. Oh, nope. The Blink mod is not in here. Some of my vampire mods are not in here. Some of my graphics, one or two of my graphics mods are not on here. So it hasn't loaded everything, as Echo 1 pointed out in his video. So, the same issues with the PS5 as with the PS4. It doesn't load everything, and everything is mixed up. That should actually be down here. What happens if I restore it yet again? Well, everything's still out of whack. Everything's still enabled. But are my Ryan's mods in order? Actually, they are. I believe they are. Let's see here. Dragon Mound, Standing Stone Farms, Halted Street Camp, Leak Wind Basin. Okay, so now that I restored it, now it's in the right order. At least the Ryan's mods are. This other one up here is not. For some reason, this one keeps wanting to be at the top. Doesn't tell me exactly what load order it's supposed to be in. Well, not overlap. Doesn't that matter? Well, I think it's overlapping now. I have another one down here. Let's put it down here with the other one. Doubt if it'll stay, but you never know. There we go. Actually, this one I think believe should be up here. Anyway, as you can see, there's, like as I said, saved issues on a PS5 as there are on a PS4. So, but I am going to work on this. I'm not going to save this to Bethesda.net because then that would screw up my load order for my PS5 version, and yeah, no thanks. I've had enough screw-ups and redos to last me one lifetime. So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happens when you reload the load order for a PS5. If you have two accounts, it's going to go off the account that you have the most saves to Bethesda.net on. So if you save yours on the PS4 version and you go to use the PS5 and reload the load order, it's going to work off of the PS4 load order save. Also, I've got to warn you guys about a little issue that me and my buddy Marty discovered a few days ago as we were uninstalling mods, especially in here. These are not the mods I originally had in here. I had some different ones, but in order to do what I needed to do to show you what happens when you reload a saved load order from Bethesda.net on a PS5, I had to redo the whole load order thing. But as me and Marty were trying out mods and going through and finding mods that work, ones that don't, we come across some issues. This is why you need backup saves. And the issue is, yes, saving your load order to Bethesda.net can be a good idea at times. There is a downside to it. And that downside is that if you uninstall mods and you don't save your current load order after you've uninstalled those mods, or if you uninstall mods and you install new ones and you still don't save that load order, what's going to happen is when you go to continue your game, it's going to tell you, hey, these files are no longer present, would you like to download it? A lot of us are going to say no. Well, when you say no, what's going to happen is your game is going to start reading all your files, and then it's going to start trying to load all those missing mods that you uninstalled. It's working off the save from Bethesda.net on your save load order. So if you don't save your new load order, you're going to end up with the endless load screen of death. And if you try to go in there after that, what's going to happen is most likely it's a 50-50 chance that if you go in there and save the new load order and whatnot, that it'll work. So what you need to do is, when you uninstall mods and you install new ones, immediately save to Bethesda.net. That way it can overwrite the previous save, and your game can work off the new save. Because if you just uninstall these mods and install new ones and don't save to Bethesda.net, your game is going to try to run off that last save from Bethesda.net and all the mods that were on that save, and it's not going to be able to load because it doesn't have all the correct files to load. So that's just a little warning, a little heads up as to what's going on. If some of you have had that issue, I've had it. Me and Marty have had it this past couple of days trying to just get my PS4 version to work. So and we did this on his PS5, so I wouldn't have to do it on mine and screw mine up, so we experimented on his. And that's what we found. If you don't save your load order to Bethesda.net, your game is going to work off the previous load order and it's not going to load correctly, and you're, like I said, the endless load screen of death. So be mindful how you load and unload. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied here. Let me slow down. When you uninstall old mods and install new mods, be sure you automatically save it to Bethesda.net so you can overwrite the previous save. That way you don't end up with an endless load screen of death. I'm emphasizing that because it will happen. It has happened. I've seen it with my own eyes, and I've actually had it happen on my version before I started everything all over. So there's a little helpful tip, and like I said, that's what happens when you try to reload a load order from Bethesda.net. If you have two versions of the game on PS5, whichever version you're working on is going to load the load order from the version you play the most. Not my best video, I'm going to say, but I hope that got the message out. I had to re-edit everything, so be mindful. It works to a point, but it doesn't load everything. It's still installing mods that shouldn't be installed. It's still rearranging, reordering them when it shouldn't be. Makes a lot of Bethesda. So, and with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I've got some other things I've got to work on. I will catch you on the next episode. Peace, guys.